Welcome back to Ratchet Builds. So we just got back from my mini vacation at Panama City Beach, and I got a short footage on the channel of running the Gen 7 on the beach. A few issues that we had with it while running it. For one is sand and salt water. So today what we're going to do is, because we did a saltwater run with it, she got pretty wet. Rust has already started setting in onto a lot of the bolts, and it's been within a 24 to 48 hour period that this is already setting. So we're going to do a full tear down, cleanup of it, probably repack the differentials and everything with new grease, check the wheels, pull the foams out, make sure they're nice and dry and everything, because I did forget to plug the holes in the wheels. And basically just get it all cleaned up and ready to go so rust don't set in. Also, the second thing that we had issues with, if you saw right in the video, is I also lost drive. Our gear turns here and none of the tires are turning. So we've also got to tear down into this transmission, see what's going on the inside of it, as she's pretty bound up and locked up right now. So we'll get into it. See what with that compressed air. As soon as I got home on teardown, what I'm doing is just inspecting for damage with right off the bat, taking the wheels off. There is a regular pin right there, and I found one that is sheared off that holds the tire on. Alright, now that I got that off, because I haven't actually run this since I did the spray off on it, so I am going to just turn everything on and do a sanity check with it real quick, just to make sure everything is working like it should. So front steering is there, my back steering is there. Forward and backwards does work. So all my electronics seem to be good and held up very well. So now we'll go ahead and start tearing those apart. So it doesn't look like too much of the water got in to the transmission or the motor area with the salt water. I mean, it probably got splashed some, but the potty did a pretty good job of protecting it. So we're going to take this front spur gear off. So there's one with a nut through it, and then we got these three here, and it looks like we've also got spacers right there. There's a spacer and a spacer, so we got to make sure we put those back in. That motor is making this a little bit difficult because of the magnets in it. It keeps pulling my screwdriver over. Alright, we should be free. And we are. And our bearing doesn't look too bad. Now, the time to figure out what broke. So we're just going to slide it apart. So what came apart? Oh. There. Right there. Let me see if I can get that over into the light for you. So if you can see where that is actually supposed to hold in onto this gear to turn it, it just stripped all the plastic away. So it's gone. And that's what stopped us from going. A little crunchy. We'll see if we can't clean this up. I may actually have to change out this bearing, because this side of it doesn't have too good of a seal. But first thing we're going to do is just clean it up and see if it's just the dirt on the outside hitting it. Oh no. Oh, it just locked up. So that bearing will need to get replaced. And it's not spinning like it should. So after a few minutes of digging, I found my extra bearings. I'm going to go ahead and replace both of them on each side of the transmission assembly. Here is the new one that has got the nice blue ring on it. And here is the old one that is very crunchy. So we've got two of them that are making noises. So we're going to go ahead and replace both while we're in here. And we have got the Redcat gear set, all metal, for this transmission that we're going to be installing. So I'm going to put this last bearing in, make sure all the dirt's out of it. trying to decide if I'm going to put a little bit of grease in here with these or not. Oh, that's so much better. Haven't made up my mind exactly yet if I'm going to or not going to. Now we got that one done. So that's our big gear check. I will keep the old one just in case I ever need it for some reason. It's still in pretty good condition. The next one I'm going to do is this gear here, which is the one that actually broke. Just going to slide our gear on here, line up the little shaft there. Oh, interesting. It's too long. The stock one is too long. That's probably why they gave us this one then. Yeah, there we go. So now that will go here. Last gear. Just got to get in here with the screwdriver, get these bearings out. It may or may not damage this plastic housing. So there's one. And two. Third and final gear. Drop one in. Oh, that went in nice. A little stiff, but not like horribly. That side went in a little bit easier. Making sure they all mesh and they touch. Which they do. They just got a little bit of spacing in between them. But man, that is satisfying. Alright, so I have determined I am going to put just a little bit of grease in between these gears. I'm not going to pack this thing full. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of lubrication, try to keep wear down in it. So a nice little bead into each one of them, not a whole bunch, just enough to give it a little bit of lubrication and so there's no binding or anything. So alright, let's get her mounted back up. So spacers are being a pain to get in, so what I've done is actually set it on there. I'm going to just kind of poke it over and push up on my bolt at the same time. Once I've got it through, I'm going to flip it over so the bolt stays through it. And then slightly line it up with its threads and just begin to start it. And there we go. Gear back on. We got to do our first spacer. And our flat washer. Now it's time for our gear. Almost a perfect mesh. We just got a little bit of wiggle back and forth. So I'm just going to leave it alone and just tighten this up. We've cleaned up all the bolts and linkages on this side of it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the motor put back in, get my wiring done. Alright, and then there we go. We've got our axles in. All of our 4 links are set back up. I'm going to flip this guy over. And voila. We've got the what is this? The rear differential out as of now. So let's do a tear down on it and see if we've got anything on the inside we need to repair or re-grease. Moment of truth. Oh wow. Yeah, we look pretty good in here. That actually looks like it stayed pretty well sealed. I don't see any kind of moisture in there or anything like that into the grease. This bearing needs a little bit of attention. It looks like it took the blunt of where the water was coming in, so we're going to take both those out, soak them down, clean up this outside of the housing, and we can go back together with this one pretty quickly. Oh, both bearings are seized. Alright, got new bearings here. We're going to just go ahead and replace those on them. Differential is back together. We've got our solid. If we just take and put something in here, we can actually spin it, then feel to make sure that everything spins like it's supposed to with no binding or anything. This one feels pretty good as far as smoothness. I do hear a little bit of noise in it, but that's probably going to be from these end bearings that I don't have right now to replace. So she will be coming back apart in the future and getting those stock bearings replaced on the differential on the outer cups. So get that one put back together. Let's get these shocks put back on, get the rear differential put back in, and then we'll move on to the front and then off to a test run. Alright, she's ready to ride. We're nice and soft in the back, a little stiffer in the front, 20 in the rear, 40 on the weight in the front. I did take the tires off camera. The foams are nice and dry, no water got inside or anything, so I just put it back together. Let's go take her for a test drive and make sure everything got back together right. Hey guys, we're back from the test drive there. Everything is back working like it's supposed to. We got forward and reverse. It handled very well going up the hills like I expected it to. I'm pretty happy with the outcome of this car, even after my saltwater run with it. She's all cleaned up, oiled up, so that way hopefully we prevent any kind of rust coming back. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day.